Hey there berries, welcome to a crafting video. Bringing you maybe something quite useful if you're looking to hit 100 in your profession. Today, just now, I've managed to hit Dragonflight Blacksmithing 100. And today I'm going to be crafting a very special item which I'll reveal shortly. I kind of wanted to help you guys get up to this point. You'll be able to use some of these tips hopefully for your own crafting professions, but this, everyone's crafting story is going to be a little bit different because there's so many unique things that you can do in this now. But this is my blacksmithing story, and if you're particularly a blacksmith, then should better help you out. Once you hit around about 50 blacksmithing, like you're going to be crafting the blues that you get from your recipes, and then once you hit 50 blacksmithing, the guy is not going to give you anything. So I managed to hit up to 65, and then I kind of struggled a lot. Now on this character, I've specifically gone into shields. So you can see here 30 points in armor smithing, 30 points in large plate armor, and 30 in the shields. Now I know at least blacksmithing has this. You might have something else that you can do with your own professions, but at the last kind of tick here with all the blacksmithing things, you've got this thing here called learn how to craft and use the master's hammer in order to 3D repair shields. Now that is how you're going to be able to max out your blacksmithing. I made 35 of these master hammers. The item itself is only okay. It basically means that you can permanently repair your mastered armor for free, so in my case shields for free. But sometimes I forget anyway because I just right click the vendor and it auto repairs my stuff anyway. So it's a bit annoying anyway. But this is the master's hammer. This is the recipe for it. You need primal flux, which is the crafting reagent that you use for everything pretty much anyway. You need obsidian seed alloy. I'll help you how to get that one in a second. You're going to need primal molten alloys. You need 2 of those, so you only need 1 of the obsidian, 2 of the primal molten alloys, and 2 of the frost fire alloys. So those ones, the primal molten alloys and the frostfire molten alloys are just standard. You'll pick those up normally. The recipes, you can find them under smelting at the top. They're kind of expensive. They require awaken fire, awaken frost, awaken fire, awaken earth. And I'll show you this obsidian seed alloy recipe. It requires awakened orders, which are super expensive, and awakened fire as well. So this recipe alone is around about 5,000 gold. But don't forget, you do make 2, and when you are crafting these alloys, make sure you pop on your multi-craft, or at the very least resourcefulness, to try and just save some cash. But multi-craft will save you a lot of money. Also double check the prices on the auction house, because it might actually be cheaper to buy the alloys off the auction house, particularly the 1-star ones, because you don't need quality for the master's hammer. So I ended up buying I ended up making my own obsidian seed alloys because it was cheaper just to make them myself. But the primal molten and the frostfire, I just bought 1-star ones. It was actually cheaper to do that because a lot of the people that are specialized in the alloys are making 2-star, even 3-star, and I bought my 3 stars off the auction house as well. So in order to make the obsidian seed alloys, there's 2 things. So you need to go to an earth warder's forge. Now that is in the Waking Shores. There's a forge master there. You know what, I'm gonna just show you. It makes it a little bit easier. There's a forge master there, and you would need to have the world quest unlocked as well to be able to do this. So you would need to have completed the main story quest until you've unlocked all the world quests, and then you will be at the event of the Sibalian plus Rathian reputation grind, which basically involves killing mobs in the area and making keys. That's like the rundown summary of that. I do have like an Obsidian Citadel video, a little explanation video on my YouTube channel, which I'll probably put at the end if you are really struggling with this. But it's not really too complicated. Basically, you need key fragments, and you need restored obsidian keys. So once you've gathered 30 key fragments and 3 key framings, what you want to do is, after you've chosen who you're aligning with Sabalian or Rathian, you basically want to go to this guy down here. So I'll show you directly on the map. We're on coordinates 2460. And you want to give this guy a key. Once you do that, 2 quests will pop up, but specifically this guy will then give you a quest to go kill something, and then come as a standard kill quest. It's not an elite quest, it's just a normal, you can solo it, quest, and then he'll give you the recipe for the what's it called again? The alloy. Which alloy is it? It is the Obsidian Sid alloy. Now this is the Earth Order. You see how as I got closer to this forge here in the center of the screen, so I'm not near it. Now I'm near it. You have to basically come here every time to forge the alloys. Bit of a pain in the butt, but that's how that is done. So you're going to need those in order to make those master hammers. And for me, as I said, I had to make 35. If you don't want to go for those risky materials from 50 to 65, then you might need to make 50 of those master hammers. And it was a guaranteed skill up every time. So all the way up to from 65 to 100, I was able to just get guaranteed skill up every time. So you know exactly, how much it's going to cost. And for me, this was the only real way, honestly, in terms of being able to realistically get from 65 to 100, because crafting orders, it just is not happening right now. Right, so I'm gonna show you and make something I'm pretty excited about, which is kind of why I made the video. You've got these special epic items which are currently pre-raiding right now, and pre-mythic plus are the strongest items in the entire game. They provide you with the highest item level, basically. This specific recipe I got, I had it from a draconic bottle, which I got from fishing. You can also buy the recipe for this off the auction house. So the shield that I learned from the specializations, so going from on the spec tree, you go all the way down, it says to learn Primal Molten Defender. So if I go into my shields and I go to the Primal Molten Defender, I can guarantee make this, with the resources that I have, this is instantly 5-star. With 106 plus blacksmithing. I haven't been able to obtain any of the blue blacksmith things at the moment, so that's been a bit of a shame. So yeah, but you need, if you want to make this a bit more difficult as well, so if you wanted to guarantee some certain stats, so you can see there it says random stat 1, random stat 2. You can customize secondary stats. You'd have to buy this off the auction house and then choose which one you want. So for a prot warrior, you kind of want haste plus either crit or versatility is usually the best. So like that one would be the most appealing. Embellishments. I wasn't able to find much information about armor spikes apart from that the recipe is unobtainable for most people, or for everyone right now, because you need a certain reputation with the artisans. Some of these other ones are probably not going to be that useful. And the infused with power, that is much later on. You can actually, it is possible to technically like get this item right now pre-raiding and start and pre-mythic plus, but it requires hitting 25 reputation, maxing out the dragon scale expedition basically. So it is possible to get close, or no, you can probably get 405 if you get an inspiration proc actually. But you could technically get 405 right now, but you would have to dig. The main way you'd have to do that was dig dirt, a lot of dirt, in order to get the reputation up on that. And you hand in the trophies for a repeatable quest. And yeah, you'd probably be spending 50 hours literally going around digging dirt. But if that's something that you want to do, then go for it. Go nuts. So about these other kind of things here on the left, the Spark of Ingenuity, that is a bi-weekly quest, I believe. You obtain that after you do the unlock world events, and then there will be a quest popping up somewhere around the east side of the main city in Dragonflight. Primal Chaos, you can obtain that from literally lots of different methods. You can get them at the end, last boss of Horex, you get one guaranteed, I think. You can get them quite, relatively often from just opening up those trade packs that are kind of on the ground, and digging as well is another good method of doing that. There's just basically doing almost anything in the game can give you a Primal Chaos chance, but the digging and the opening up boxes and things like that has the highest chance of giving you a good rate of Primal Chaos. Specifically for this recipe, Earthen Soul is something kind of really weird. I had to buy something off an auction house from an engineer makes it. The item is a Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler. It cost me 20,000 gold to buy it off the auction house. It was literally the only one. Basically, it's an item where you channel it on an elemental and an elite and an elemental, and it puts them in an item for 50 minutes. If you open the item before the timer runs out, the elemental breaks and gives you essences. Apparently, that's something I want to test out to see how many essences I get. Also, you need to buy empty soul cages, which cost currently for me 500 gold each, and that is used to encase the elemental. So you would need basically the sap throttle, a soul cage. You need to channel it as it dies. You might want someone to help you, like kill it off as you're channeling. And then you basically get the soul, you wait 15 minutes, and then for me, because I did it on an earthen soul, an earth elemental, it got converted into an earthen soul after 15 minutes. So that's how I got that. A bit weird, but we got it. Finally, here we got the glowing titan orb. I made a video about how to get this item specifically. It's a pretty decent gold maker if you want to do that. But I found another way to get them. There's actually some maidens around the what's this instance called again? Halls of Infusion. They're hanging around the top. They do drop them as well, but the spawn rate is kind of yucky. But that would explain why people on the auction house had them randomly in their inventory, because they got that from that world quest. So I went back there and tested it out, got my own orb, and yeah, now I'm using it for this recipe. So, and then for these last, so to give you an information on reagent quality, this basically gave me, from using 1-star primal molten alloys, from using all 16 as 3-star, it gave me a ridiculous amount of skill. Like, I literally would not be able to do this without the fact that this is 3-star reagents. Why is my calendar popping up? WG. So the rare quality materials helped a ridiculously huge amount. It cost me a lot of money, as you can see. The total ingredients from the orb plus the alloys. The alloys alone cost me about 65k. But it basically allows me, with using one of these Illustral Insights, which you get 5 off from a quest for free, but if you ever run out, you can actually just make them with 50 artisans metals. Man, I'm so nervous about making this. This is like, I've been hyped up for this for such a long time. So yeah, let's make this. Let's make sure everything here is correct. So this is a guaranteed quality of 392 being made. The reason why I'm making this shield and not the one from my crafted recipe is because I'm only losing around about 20 to 30 secondary stats in terms of the mastery, for example, but I'm getting that equip bonus where I'm getting 332 versatility for 15 seconds. So in theory that should give me a lot more stats overall. Yeah, it would have been nicer to have haste instead of like the mastery, but making this primal defender would give me random stats anyway, and it could give me like no haste at all anyway, and I wouldn't have that the versatility buff. Plus also, if you wanted to add the secondary stats anyway, you would be making the recipe more difficult, and these things might cost more. I didn't actually check the prices on that. But then you would also then have to use an illustrial insight to kind of counteract that this is adding difficulty to the recipe, essentially. Okay, well, let's make sure I don't screw this up, especially for this video. Oh, another thing as well, if you're relying on an inspiration proc, highly recommend to buy these stable fluidic draconiums. There's no reason for me to use them on this recipe. Basically, it increases the amount of skill that you get when you get the proc. So it adds, in this case, it adds 25% inspiration. So that would be, I don't know, quick math here, around about 13 additional skill on top of that. So if it does crit, then it would, instead of adding 54, it would add whatever number I just said on top. So that explains that one. So that could be quite useful if you're relying on like a crit to get to, like, you know, this 418 for example. If you manage to get one of these concentrated primal infusion, you probably will be relying on an inspiration proc, or unless they give us like better, higher quality illustrial insights. So that kind of explains how I managed to get to blacksmithing 100, and how I'm about to make one of probably the best shield on my entire server right now. Possibly, I wouldn't want to go say as far as the entire EU, but if anyone else in the EU has this, then there's probably only like a couple of people out there, so I'm pretty excited to make this. Right, 392. I just double checking everything. Everything's in place. Make sure we use best ingredients. That's still there. Expected quality. Alright, Blizzard, don't screw me here. There we go. Fantastic. First craft, so I didn't, I used resourcefulness because I didn't need inspiration proc, so there's a 15% chance for me to use fewer resources. Unfortunately this time we didn't save on any resources. I don't know what the limitations are on that. I think it is basically would save you on some of the molten primal alloys. But if I go to my bag, we have a 392 shield. Nice. And what I can also do as well is I can potentially negotiate with people. I can say, look, I can make, you know, a 392 shield in trade chat, may advertise my services. If you want the best shield like I have, then you know, give me some money. And also they would need to put up their own I mean, I could make them put up their own resources, or I could go farm out my own elemental earth and soul and charge them extra for that, for the effort of having to go out and do that, because I bought out the only Zap throttle on the auction house, so they wouldn't actually better do it themselves either. So yeah, I could make probably, I don't know, I'm hoping to make at least a gazillion amount of gold per craft on this for someone. So yeah, it's very exciting stuff, and yeah, I'm excited to use this shield going into starting off the mythic pluses and the yeah, the raiding coming soon in a week and a half's time here. There's one thing I want to check out, which I'll check out with you guys, the recrafting on these. What happens? Okay, we're not going to obviously do that. I see, so you can basically, so if I had if I had 6 3-star primal molten alloys, and then I would only need to add one of these primal infusion stones, then I would be able to, you know, increase its stats even further. Then I would probably want to use the draconic, the stable fluidic draconium, in order to try and get that to that you know, 405 kind of quality. So it doesn't only uses 5 metal for a recraft, which is insane, because then you could keep just going through your metal, trying to get that inspiration proc, and then get that higher item level. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to end up being meta. Bear in mind, you will need to use more artisan's metal for more illustrial's insights as well, though. But yeah, this is a really cool system. And so, most people don't realize that, I've made this shield. Yeah, it's going to get replaced in a 2 to 3 weeks time, but I'll just grab one of those, that stone when you can get them, I believe, from Mythic Plus or from raiding or whatever, and I'll just go, okay, I've got one of those stones now. I can now make this like 418, no problem, etc. So yeah, it's a really, really cool crafting system that they got in. I'm really happy with it. And also, like, next time it's not even going to cost me a fraction of the gold cost. It only requires the 6 primal molten alloys for me. So yeah, I'm laughing though. So best shield in the game for me for probably, you would think only for like a week and a half because of Mythic and stuff, but this should last a really long time. Probably until I get deeper into Mythic raiding. Maybe I'll see something better at that point. But yeah, anyway, a little bit of a long-winded video. I hope that kind of like my explanation of everything kind of helps you out in terms of where you're going to take your own craft. Do have a look in, if you're other crafters, do have a look and see if you can get something like this where you can repair your own gear, or like gives you an item like that, so that you can push all the way up from 50 to 65 all the way to like 100, and then that will give you a lot of extra skill, which will absolutely help you and is necessary in order to even start getting to this 5-star quality. Because if I go to my if I go to the shield, sorry, I'm on the wrong menu, I think. No, I'm not. Shield of the Hearth. So I can't show you now, but if you rewind back on the video, I was only like, with everything added, the 3-star primals plus the Illustral Insight, I was only like 2 or 3 skill points over to get the guaranteed 392. So, and also later on you will be able to get like blue and epic quality crafting gear from the trading post, from the crafting orders, so that you would be able to push to around about, I think you can maximum might be plus 30, so 100 plus 30, which would make the recipes easier, but we don't have access to that at the moment because of the consortium. The blue ones we kind of do in odd bits and pieces, but the epic ones I think are from consortium rep. So yeah, anyway, super in depth. I hope it was okay and you were able to follow through. All the best, and if you have any blacksmithing specific questions in the YouTube comments, I'll try my best to help you out. Bear in mind I'm only specializing into armor smithing. I think from here I was thinking about doing like tool specialties so I can make my own tools, but I think I'm just gonna have to rely on crafting orders because I've already invested in like 30-60 points in order to get to like this branch of the tree anyway. I might as well invest in like breastplates and the leg plates as well, because I only would have to spend 30 points in terms of maxing out the quality there, as opposed to like going into something else and then having to spend a bajillion amount as well. So yeah, all the best guys. I'm really happy about my shield, can't wait to test it out on some mythic zeros, and yeah, see you soon for another video. Bye.